Do you guys hate mollying pouches on as much as I do? I just realized sitting here thinking, I've been doing it for probably 30 years now almost as a military guy when I first came in and got even the Alice clips back in the day. And all the way to today owning a soft goods company, it's all we do is constantly molly and things on and off, right? So I'm like, there's got to be a more simple solution. And of course, over the years, I've seen a dramatic change in our industry with advanced materials and laser cutting, and almost to the point where you can confuse what does even molly and pals mean anymore, right? Because there can be a lot of online fights about that alone. And so we wanted to try to sit back and figure out, as a solutions-based company, we wanted to be able to provide you guys a very stupid, simple solution that allows you to molly pouches onto anything. But specifically in this case, I want to talk about mollying pouches onto belts. And if you look out there, you have all these great options which work on a lot of things like plate carriers and backpacks, from your standard malice clips, which are very popular, which work. You have these weird kind of Kydex pressed, oven baked, Healy coil, multiple screw Kydex pieces, and highly advanced injection molded, spring loaded, crazy what have yous, and little click flippers that snap into place that break very easily, and molly rip sticks and everything else. And then you have companies out there that are all trying to come up with their own type of device that works with screws and little clip pieces and shit that falls apart and gets lost. And then you got your standard military stuff with your Natick type snaps that are kind of old school but still out there to this day. And I'm like, man, there's got to be a better freaking solution. So we went back to the drawing board like a lot of these companies and tried to come up with our own solution. And I think we overthought it, way too complex. And we finally sat down one day and was like, holy shit, we're thinking about this all the wrong way. And what we want to do today, guys, is introduce to you a stupid, simple design that kind of helps replace all of this stuff for mounting pouches onto smaller diameter or belt systems. And that's the Haley Strategic Mandible. The Mandible is a patented proprietary hook and loop laminate material that you can slap onto any 1.5 or 2-inch belt system. Now, this isn't to be confused with one wrap, okay? So I'm gonna talk about one wrap and show you guys what one wrap is. A lot of companies are selling one wrap like this. You can take and cut off little pieces of it, which I have done here on one of the pouches, and then I have a mandible on the other pouch. And this is our vertical mandible. We have the vertical and the 45 degree, which I'll get to here in a second. Now, just to show you, and I'm not cheating this here, I'm gonna take this one wrap and really stretch it as much as I can over the product. And mandible's just been put on. Now, as I start to wiggle this pouch, if I take just my fingers on the magazine as a lever, you can see how much range of motion that has back and forth. And I'm not moving it with much force at all. The mandible, though, you can see it's much harder to move back and forth. Now, you're going to get some molly laser channel kind of movement, but the pouch stops about right there. It should not be able to go all the way over here, okay? It shouldn't be able to move that much. The biggest problem that we found with one wrap is that it does not hold up over time. So we've had straps in the past that we started with one wrap. You can see where we even evolved to Hypalon materials to kind of strengthen and reinforce the center. We realized that the one wrap itself just didn't last, especially under humid or hot environments. It stretches, it cuts and tears itself, and that is no go for us. And that's why we don't suggest using one wrap on life support equipment. The mandible comes in two variants. I've got a single angled, this is how you get it, it's only one. And then the verticals come in a 2-pack, because you're gonna be using these probably more so on your belt system than you would that single angled. And as you can see with my belt, I've got that single angled mandible right here for that fast speed reload pouch, so I can get to that angle fast with that straight line with the arm coming down and putting it right up to the gun. As I move around my body personally, I'll start to angle my magazines up, and this one's more vertical, so I use a single vertical mandible there. And then for my rifle magazine, I've got 2 of the singles on that double channel there. Now, the good thing about these guys is you're not stuck to a channel, right? You can put them anywhere you want. You can butt them up super tight to each other, or you can place them anywhere along your belt that you want. And I love that flexibility that the mandible gives you. And if you're a left-hander out there, yes, we have a reverse mandible for the left-handers. There are also some belts out there on the market that don't have hook on the inside. They have loop on the inside. And so you can get a left-handed mandible if you're right-handed, if you have loop on the inside. And as you can see, you'd flip it around and that would give you the appropriate side for you as a left-hander. Speaking of other belts, the mandibles work with a wide variety of belts out there on the market, as long as it's 1.5 inches to 2 inches. So if you got a Ferro Concepts belt, you got a Ronin Tactics belt, I think even some of the Agilite belts, GBRS, but they use that reverse loop like I was just talking about, so make sure you get the right configuration for that one. And our Classic Series belt and the new D3 belt works on those, so make sure that your belt is within that size range, and then you shouldn't have any problems mounting the mandibles to it. As far as the quick installation of how you put the mandible on the pouch and then on the belt, you can see I just took the angled ones to start with that. Take your pliers if you have them, go ahead and pull your small end through your MOLLE channel. Now on the back of your pouch, you'll notice even on ours, we have our MOLLE straps. I just tucked it in underneath. Now if you're running a pouch like S-Tac, they don't have any type of strap systems on there, so the mandible's perfect for their types of pouches. So you pull it through and that's it. Bring it over to your belt and strap it down. Go ahead and wrap the top over, and then make sure that you're aligning the top of the mandible with the top of the belt. And then you start to wrap that bottom. Go ahead and tuck it up and through the laser cut locking tab, and then stretch it. You can pull with your pliers if you want to, but make sure you're pulling in an upward direction. Do not try to pull backward, because you can break that locking tab. As far as the vertical mandible, same as the angled, you're going to tuck your MOLLE strap up underneath, and then take your vertical mandible, run it through your MOLLE channel, and all you need to do is run it through 2 inches of MOLLE. Now if you have a 1.5 inch belt, only run it to the 1.5 inch point. That's why we use 1/2 inch increment slots, not 1 inch increment slots. Once you got that, go ahead and take your pouch, put it on your belt, fold the top down, make it super straight and clean, and then take the bottom of your mandible, tuck it up through the locking tab, pull upward vertically, make it tight, seal it down, good to go. For the rifle mag pouches or any other types of pouches like this, frag, smoke, Leatherman multi-tool type pouches, anything else that has this 2 or maybe even 3 rows, like we have our GP saw pouch that a lot of guys will add a 3rd mandible to, and that can wrap over any belt system as well. Same thing, tuck your mandibles through, tuck your MOLLE straps underneath, put it down on the belt, fold the top over, fold the bottom up through the locking tab, and you are done. All right, now the best thing about the mandible, the price. You get a 2-pack of the verticals for $3.50. You get that patented proprietary hook and loop material for super cheap, and then you get this single angled for $5. Now a lot of people might say, well, why is a single more expensive than the 2? Well, this is a simple cut. This is a lot more material, takes up a lot more space, and we try to manage the waste a lot more on this guy. So, but still, for that price, you really can't beat it, guys. So there you have it, guys. That's the mandible. Sorry it took so long for us to come all the way back around from such complexities to a stupid simple product, but hopefully it makes your life a little easier, because as we always say, your equipment should work around you, so you don't have to work around it. Guys, thanks for joining me. I'm Travis Haley. Stay sharp, be safe, and as always, die free.